Alright, just going to show off what I got from Izumo Shrine. And, well, I think this is also from Izumo actually. So this is just, here's just a t-shirt from the Shrine. That's the back view there. And you've got Izumo Taisha there. And I think that's the front. So it's got a little badge. But a nice little shirt. Just wanted to get something. As I said, I really enjoy Izumo. Really, really nice place. I also got from the same shop, because I went to 2 shops in Izumo. I just got these little things. I'll probably put them on my backpack with my Jabanian. Jabanian. I think that's just for Shrine there. But again, I quite liked it, and I'll just tag that on. Again, I had a nice time, so I didn't really mind spending the money. And then that's just another sort of key ring that you've got there, the sort of symbol of Shrine again. So that'll probably all go in my backpack, I imagine. I'll show these next. So these were all from the gift shop. First of all, in here, I got one of these Izumo Oyashiro. I think what was the reason? I can't remember why there's a specific reason or not. It does say made in Japan anyway here, which is good. But it's just their kind of mascot is that yellow sort of cat with a shine on its head, and I thought that was quite cool. And in terms of Shaman King as well, there's a character called I think it's Musamune, who's sort of a cat sort of companion character to Hao, and then a bit to Yo as well. And that's probably where he comes. That's probably where the inspiration for him came from. And I realised that as I was leaving Izumo, and I drove past a bright yellow bus with a cat on, and I was like, wait. So quite cool. I mean, I think a lot of, being a fan of Shaman King as well. I mean, if anyone is watching this and does enjoy Shaman King, then go to Izumo, because there is quite a lot of like references there. And then let me just open these up quickly. Yeah. I might have showed these already. I can't remember if I did. I might have done. So I'll put in this one. Got a few different bits here. So that was my ticket to the special exhibition they did. The last day, managed to get there on the last day, which really good. So loads of Kasugi, I think masks. Got one of those as well. Again, these are like smaller purchases, but I just like this because of the Shaman King connection as well, with this like sort of bronze sword. Thought it was pretty cool. I think again it'll probably, I don't know how long the string is, but I might just stick it on one of my bags or keep it like that. And I got a few books. And I think I've talked about these already, but I'll just mention them again. So at the museum they gave, it's a bit tapered there, that's a bit annoying. At the museum they just gave these sort of 3 pieces of information, which is just like their version of the myths. I've not actually read it yet, but again, the English version of Susanoo versus Yamato and Orochi, essentially. Which, yeah, I'm going to look forward to sitting down and reading it at some point. I've not done much reading since being... I don't think I've barely done any, to be honest. So I have to try and get back into that again. Here, I've got the guidebook to the shrine, which I think I've done this, shown this one a bit already, but I probably can't really... I'd have to probably go around the other side to do this, but yeah, maybe a bit later I'll do that. And then I got 2 of these books. So that's the first one there. And I'm going to try and hold up the second next to it as well. Ta-da! Ta-da! But those, like, are basically just manga versions of the Kojiki. Which is such an important text in terms of Japanese mythology. So I did want to pick those up. I got 2 in the end. I think the first time I got that one, and then I also got the green one as well, but there they are together. But I'm looking forward to reading them, just to see. I'm not going to be able to really understand the language, but for me, it's just kind of about seeing how they represent their own mythology from something that's, I guess whoever's written the manga, that they've kind of like, it's their interpretation as well, but just seeing different ways it's represented would be quite cool. And I got that as well. So this is just a guide to the mysteries of Kojiki. And so I'll do another part maybe to the video where I just showed me flicking through anyway. But it's just got loads of like, it's basically in English. I'll show you a page now. Oh, this is about the 8-branched snake. I don't know how good that image will be, but it's just basically you've got the English. This is basically the English version. And again, it will be useful to see what's in there. What, you know, what have I come across before? What have I not? So yeah. This is probably my number one purchase out of everything I got that day, but I did get, and I had to do it for these guys. But I did get Shaman King 1 and 2 as well. I don't want to drop. I just did drop them. That's the 4th one. But I do like the cover of that one. I can't actually remember what happens in it, to be honest. And then that's number 1 there, which I've got the English version of that with me. So I'll probably flick. I sort of thought, oh, I've already got the number 1. I sort of thought I've got number 1 already. But wouldn't it be cool just to get it again in Japanese and then compare it to the English version? But they're all sealed up at the moment. I will unwrap them. But I was saying to someone, I think last night, like these were only 660 yen, which I'll get a graphic here popping up. 660 yen, which I know, you know, they've not been imported, and I know kind of like the translation, but in pounds, that's like £3.85, I think, or £3.65 or something ridiculous. Like, it's so little money. And like when you think how much these are worth in the UK, like new, like, that's crazy. I mean, I know we're paying a premium for them, but what I also like, I'll do the video about the bookstore might pop up there as well. But what I like about how the Japanese, I think they just take greater care of the things they're selling. I've had so many problems buying stuff through Amazon in terms of books that I don't know whether I really shouldn't use them anymore, because they just, the amount of like scuff marks and like dirt, and just, they're not in new condition. They're just like marked in somewhere, and it's really annoying. But like these have been like shrink wrapped on. And don't get me wrong, like I'm not really advocating using more plastic and stuff, because I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing for the environment. It's not, but they do, like, the condition of these is like so much better than like buying books in the UK where they're sort of unprotected. And because I am, you know, somewhat of a collector, and I do like things, you know, the things I care about that I buy, I want them to be like really good pristine condition. But these sort of are. But I'm so happy to have, like, yeah, one of the main things, one of the things I wanted to do most when I went to Japan was just go into a bookstore and like buy some manga, and I've done that now. But I think they're beautiful as well. Like, you look at the back covers, they're a bit different to how the UK ones are presented, and like, just, I mean, I love these books anyway, like the story, but I also just love like the cover art, and like, again, like you've got that Yo and Anna in their kimonos there, and it's like, it's such a nice image. And at the front there, that's maybe why I bought this one, because I just really like that kimono design. It's just, you know, and then like the head scarves, the headbands, you know, I'm wearing one now. I like headbands, so it always sort of comes together really nicely. So I'm probably gonna get, I've got all of these in English in the UK. These are like the single versions up to volume 32, because as far as I'm aware, I think the UK, they published up to 32 and then they seem to have stopped. But you can get, I think they're doing an omnibus version anyway in the UK, where they're including the ones that weren't released as singles. But I'll be getting all of these in Japan anyway, just because I do love them. And again, I love the sort of spines there. Quite basic, but really quite nice. And yeah, no, the bookstore trip was one of really, really good fun and interesting. There's also this that I got. I'll show the back first. See if you can guess what it is. I've got one already, and I think again, how much was this? I'm trying to see if I can. I think this was only like $260, which again is like ridiculous. So it's another Shonen Jump, but like I couldn't resist. Like I had to get it because it's One Piece, and Luffy apparently might be the king on it. I don't know. He's got like, where is it? Yeah, king. Maybe he's finally the king after like 1,000 episodes. I don't know. It's also got Deku at the top there as well. So this one appealed to me actually a lot more than the other one I got in terms of actually know who the characters are. But again, like I just think these are really cool, and I'll keep getting these. I mean, you know, especially for only 260 yen. I mean, it'll probably add up over the course of like a year, but I think just, you know, again, like these are something that like you can't get these in the UK, like you just can't, and 260 yen for all of this anyway. But it's interesting. I can't quite show the paper. I'll unwrap it later and try and get some more video footage of it. But like the paper they've used here is like a weird kind of paper. It's kind of this like thin, sort of like coloured paper, which I guess must be cheaper. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's weird. But it's also, I actually also quite like that. Just from a point of view, it actually kind of gives a bit more life to the comic, because it's just all different colours, and it's just I don't know, it brightens it up. But it's really cool, and I love the art on that in a way. Like I think that's amazing art. Like I would probably just get that just for the art in a way. Like, you know, I think just that image alone, like having that is worth sort of the price of it in a way. But yeah, I'll have to open these up later and kind of give an opinion on them. But yeah, really, really nice. And it's something I'll try and keep getting. Again, actually 260 yen, you know, it's probably about, it's not much, is it? It's definitely less than £2, you know. And when you consider, like, I know it had the minifigures, but when I was in England doing a lot of the eBaying with the Lego Star Wars, like one of the magazines for that was like, I think 450, or, you know, and that does include the minifigure, but, you know, basically those prices and those magazines in the UK are smaller, but they're often like £2-3, aren't they? So so this is where the fun begins. I think I'll start with the smaller one. So I did talk about, I went into the Pokemon store in Chiba, but I was just a bit thrown off with like the service, not the service, but just being sort of asked to put my phone away and just being a bit sort of offended by that. And that was nothing, you know, the person who did it, like absolutely the way they did it was brilliant, no problems, but I was just a bit shell shocked after that and just felt a bit sort of, should I still be taking photos, you know, just a bit under the microscope. So I felt very uncomfortable. And then I also don't agree that Pokemon is something that's been a part of my life, like as far back as I remember. Like I remember playing like Fire Red, you know, borrowing that from a friend and then having to return it, and sort of playing, you know, Ruby and like these really old games on the Game Boy, which had such great fun playing and stuff. And I think if I was younger as well, like if I was 15 years younger, I'd go into one of these Pokemon stores and I'd lose my mind. I'd absolutely love it. They had so many plushes. I might get some images up on the screen now in a way. But I had so many images, you know, so many plushes and stuff. It was really, really good. But I did feel like it was a bit lackluster though as well, because I was expecting it to be like advertised a bit more, and it was kind of like, I just sort of bumped into it, and you know, I don't know. I did travel a long way to get there, and didn't sleep much, so I think that affected my mood and being a bit sort of really quite tired out and a bit not necessarily with it as much as I would have liked. But I did go to another store and got some Pokemon stuff. So I'll show that off. But when I'm in Sendai, probably in about 5 days, a week, I'll definitely go to the store there, and I'm not going to take any videos this time. I might take photos and get some. I will get some plush. I mean, I would have, if I'd gotten any in Chiba, I would have got a listen for sure. And I think actually the prices were actually really reasonable, and I think were more reasonable than other stores that I've seen sort of selling the same stuff. But it was really impressive, all the plushes and stuff. I just didn't feel, I think after I'd sort of been told not to film, I just didn't feel comfortable sort of getting anything there, or just, you know, being there. So yeah, but I'll show off, I mean, I'll show that off quickly first, because I forgot. So I found that the other day, and I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh fan as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. I think you've got Ra with Marek, Yugi and Slifer and Kyber and Obelisk. But that was super cool, actually. I quite liked seeing that. I think it was, you sort of had one of the, I think they're the same as the One Piece one I had. And you've got Lotte there. They must just have all the license for a lot of this stuff. But I got that because I just couldn't resist, and I thought that was quite cute as well, like the art and stuff. And I think they're kind of, I've seen a few of these. When I went to a store, they had a few of these versions, and then had a few of like the current season characters, which I think is Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. But I've not watched that, and I don't intend to. But my opinion, I don't know how many people even still watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore. I think some of the older seasons were good, but and I watched a bit of Arc V, and I quite liked Arc V, but then I think Arc V, from my understanding, didn't go far enough in terms of what I was trying to do. That was the magnet as well in there, but I'm not probably gonna have time to open that up yet. But in terms of Pokemon, I got quite a few of these, but again, I think they're about 600. Well, the first, when Izumo, I got 3 of them, and they were these ones. So I've got a Pikachu, which is quite like, you know, everyone, I don't know, I kind of feel like you just have to get a Pikachu, to be honest. Like, he's the main guy, you know. I quite like him anyway. You can't really not like Pikachu, to be honest. And then Cyndaquil as well. I like Cyndaquil, probably one of my favourite starters. And he'd always be my #1 starter for Johto as well, really. And also Umbreon, Umbreon's another one I just really like. Probably one of my favourite Pokemon there. Interestingly, this is like a black and white sort of art on the back, which is a bit of a difference. It also doesn't actually have, I was just looking at, like, Cyndaquil has like the number on this bit, but Umbreon doesn't actually have that, which is interesting, but maybe it's just because it's in a different like set. But no, pretty cool. I mean, when I went to Cyprus on holiday like many years ago, sort of these were the sort of things I did sort of find and buy, and I think they were quite cheap back then. But like, these are like, you know, I was saying to someone else as well, these were like 660 yen, which maybe seems like quite a lot of money, like, you know, so these 3 would have been like just under 2,000 yen. But, you know, the trends, well, 660 yen in the UK was about £3.85. So really, I think that's actually very good value. If that was available in the UK to buy, I think it would be like 10 quid, you know, because the markup and stuff, and that's kind of what they do there. So, and then in the end, yeah, because I didn't go back to the Pokemon store, I think I found some of these ones as well. So you got another Mew there. I do like Mew as well. Can't knock Mew. But I think these were, I can't remember exactly how much they were, but these were, I think, less than 660. I think I had a slight like discount on them. Yeah, I can't see. I've got a receipt here. Yeah, I think it was like 20% off. So like here it says they were like 462 yen. So like, that's amazing as well. Like 462 yen. That must be less than like £3 per one. And I don't know. I mean, if I ever have to take them back to the UK, then I might have to pay import on them, which I don't know how much that would be. But I think for the time being, like less than £3 for one of these, like, I think that's a steal. Yeah, and that's Torterra, who I like Torterra. There was a Turtwig as well, but I don't know. I like Torterra. And I love Torterra, and how they did Torterra and Detective Pikachu was like fantastic. He's got a nice design in a way, that dinosaur design, it's cool. and then got a lichen rock as well. I would have loved to have like the different forms of lichen rock in there. You got, is it dusk form? Pretty cool, but like lichen rock's pretty cool. One of the good Alola Pokemon for sure. So I think I did get 6 of those. I can't remember. I feel like I got one more, but maybe it's just those. Yeah, it was those 3. But then I did also get, because I think again these were like 20% off actually, and like these ones were 1,150 yen, which I think I saw them in Izumo. I think they were like 1,600 yen. So again, it was a really good price, really good value, bargain. So made in Vietnam, it says apparently on the back as well. But I managed to get a Rayquaza. I just love Rayquaza's design. It just looks awesome, sort of snake, sort of serpent, dragon, a little bit like Yamato Narochi, actually, thinking about it. Rayquaza's great. I love Rayquaza's design. Just the name is awesome to say. And then I also got these 2 guys. I was a bit divided. I was like, do I get one or the other, or do I just get both? And in the end, I just got both. So you've got Ho-Oh, and you should be able to guess what the other one is. The other legendary Pokemon of Johto, Lugia as well. But these are pretty cool, I think, especially Ho-Oh. Like, I love Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh's got such a great design there. He's got the tail that's super cool as well. And the colour, I do like Ho-Oh in a way, the cut, like the green and the white and the orange red just look really good there. And Lugia is a little bit more of a basic design, isn't he? But he's pretty good in a way. I do like Lugia. Heart Gold and Soul Silver, probably my favourite sort of set of games, and out of all the Pokemon, arguably. I think they were the best games. So I wanted to pay tribute to that. But yeah, that's everything I got. Quite a lot. I don't know how much I spent there. But I think a lot of it, I think all worth it. And I can't not be in Japan, and like I've got to buy some Pokemon stuff basically, and I've got to buy some merch whilst I'm here. Enjoy it. So I will say thank you for watching. Sayonara. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. If you're new to the channel, or if you just haven't liked it yet as well. But yeah, take care, and see you in the next one. Sayonara for now.